And reports have emerged that the NJC has recommended retirement for embattled Chief Justice of Nigeria, Walter Onnoghen. What does that mean? He is hopefully going to get all his retirement benefits, but there are people who are saying, no, don't brush this under the carpet. Let him get his day in court. What has all this done to Walter Onnoghen's career and all the things that has been associated with this interesting story? To have this conversation right here on Me Lord, I have my panelists. Starting with my immediate right, I have Anthony Idoko, who is a legal practitioner. Welcome, Anthony Idoko.
Thank you very much.
And I have Kola Alakbini, also a legal practitioner.
Thank you.
And then Tunde Oyeshino, though he's a legal practitioner, he is the head of the Judiciary Correspondence here in Abuja. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now most of you, while I've been talking to you, you've all said these are speculations that the NJC has recommended retirement for Walter Onnoghen. Let's just tinker with that idea a bit. Hypothetically, let's play with it for a moment. Starting with you, you're a journalist, Tunde. Let's start with you. What does that mean for him? He had been offered the opportunity to retire. He said, no, I haven't done anything wrong. And it all boils down to this. What does that mean for Onnoghen?
Well, there's one thing I need us to know here. The NJC letter is just on one leg out of the two matters.
I see.
You know, the NJC restrained itself from saying anything about the ongoing trial at the Code of Conduct Tribunal. The NJC only premised its report on the investigation that arose from the petition written by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Yeah. So it is based on that the NJC said it has forwarded its report to the president, and there are speculations here and there that in the report the NJC recommended Justice Onnoghen for compulsory retirement. Yeah. Well, in my own view, I still believe is as at the time the recommendation was sent to the CJN is a suspended CJN, is a suspended CJN. So the president can still not single-handedly take a decision. They still have to send it down to the National Assembly for their own input in the whole scenario.
This is still a long process going forward. You said there are two aspects of this. What's the second aspect?
The second aspect is the ongoing trial at the Code of Conduct Tribunal. And the tribunal had fixed April 15 for the parties to come and adopt their written addresses. So depending on what the outcome of the tribunal is, that's another leg entirely.
Interesting.
Entirely. So we don't know what the judgment of the tribunal will be on Onnoghen as far as alleged non-asset declaration is concerned.
You see, honestly, this thing started as just a disciplinary measure, but it has blown into a full criminal case, with the EFCC now coming in to make a lot of allegations of he received gifts, monetary gifts from lawyers who appeared before him. He has $1.7 million he hasn't declared. Coming to you, Kola Alakbini, talk to us about what EFCC is charging him with. And if these are true, how can that hurt Walter Onnoghen?
Well, I think one of the major problems we have in Nigeria is we always put the cart before the horse, because the starting point should have been the NJC in the first place. And now NJC is playing catch up with what is already happening. So what we have now is a total fiasco. This is running to like 3 parallel government agencies on the same matter. You've got the NJC, you've got the EFCC, you've got the Code of Conduct Tribunal, and then you've got the presidency itself interested in the matter. So it's all very messy. And
very messy, I have to say.
We don't look too good internationally.
You know, at a point I wanted to ask, how did it degenerate into this? Because at the beginning of this, it simply felt like he was being picked on because of the Election Petitions Tribunal. And a lot of people said it had a political undertone because the president wanted to be in control of that for all of the litigations that will follow the elections. Now it has moved on to something completely different, where the image of this man is at stake.
You mean the image of the country?
Well, let's start with the image of the man, and then the legislature, in the judiciary in general, and then Nigeria, because there's a lot of international attention on this. Anthony Idoko, I mean, first of all, like I said, it started political. Is this still political for you, or do you really think that maybe these people are pursuing a wrongdoing, a real wrongdoing by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria?
Well, it's difficult to tell. if it's actually a wrongdoing that they're pursuing or not. Because like you said, it started as, the rumor then was they wanted him out so they can have that space and put someone there who would do their bidding, you know, as per the election tribunals, you know, and all of that. That was how it started. And we had thought that probably after they got him out and they brought in the acting CJN, yeah, that perhaps later after his case at the CCT, okay, and when they would have been done with the tribunals, you know, when the presidential tribunal decision and perhaps other governorship and all of that, when it would have been done, but particularly that of the presidential tribunal, maybe perhaps at the time they would have finished, maybe they would not have minded, you know, returning him back, you know. But like you said, it's taking a different dimension, you know. And again, like my colleague here said, it's not over yet. He still has hope, because
he still has hope.
Yeah, because the removal of the CJN is not solely in the hands of
the presidency.
The president. Yes, Section 292 of the Constitution provides how the CJN, the Court of Appeal president, president of the Federal High Court, you know, and all of that, how they can be removed. You know, it means he still has to
go through all of those processes
to the National Assembly and await to third majority.
This looks bad image-wise for the country, but can we just think of the possibility that this man may have done something wrong? We know at the very beginning he was very clear. I don't think I've done anything wrong. Let's take it as far as it goes. But with all of these revelations coming out, is it possible that Walter Onnoghen could have done something wrong? And if he did, what should be the way to handle this? What if he did make all this money and reach himself? What is this so far-fetched? I'm just playing the devil's advocate here.
Then we should have followed the due process of law. There's a due process. There's a way you go about this, and it all looked as if the due process was circumvented, and that was what gave reasons for all the various speculations. Was it being removed for elections? Once you do a good thing in a bad way, you've spoiled it.
Exactly. Exactly. But you know, the funny thing about Nigerian institutions is that all of them have overlapping functions. And a lot of times, this is how messy things are, not just with Walter Onnoghen, because we are seeing it right now, but in so many different cases. Today, you wanted to say...
Just like he said, the federal government might have a good case against Onnoghen, but the way and manner in which the case was initiated was suspicious. In fact, part of the argument, part of the submission of Onnoghen's counsel, while he was arguing his no-case submission, was that the Code of Conduct Bureau breached its own standard organization procedure. And what does that mean? A charge has been filed before taking the statement of Onnoghen. You have filed a charge before him, before the Code of Conduct Tribunal, before now going to take his statement. The charge, the trial had started before taking the statement of his account officer. You know, you see how...
It's been very clumsy.
And now, the meat of the matter was, Onnoghen admitted that he forgot to declare that 5 account. There's a provision for that. If somebody forgot to declare, all he need to do was to come and make the declaration. But why are we making a case out of it? That is the concern of Nigeria. It's not as if Nigerians are behind Onnoghen, but we're saying the right thing should be done.
All right, let's talk about Tanko Muhammad. I mean, the NJC has practically, you know, said that he really didn't do anything wrong. Like some of you have said, they shouldn't be a vacuum in power. He was supposed, I mean, he was number 2 and the presidency needed someone. But there are some people who have continued to say he was used because he's from the northern extraction and he's definitely going to do the president's bidding. I mean, today I'll get to you because the way you are smiling, it feels like you don't even believe that. But Anthony, do you think that this was really all about putting someone of the northern extraction as the head of the judiciary?
Well, like I said earlier, it's not easy, okay, to come to that conclusion, because in any case, he is number 2, okay. So
that was what was meant to happen, anyways.
Yes, exactly. And the way I see it, anyone could have been used even if he's not from the north. Yeah, of course, there are a lot of people. Yeah, there are so many people who are being used and who are not even from the north. You can use anyone, and this is not circumscribed to just APC and to the president. We've seen it even in the time of PDP. You know, once you subscribe to the ideology, or you're a member, or you like them or whatever, they can use you even if you are from. There are people who are not from. There are diehards who are not from the north in APC. Some of them are from the southeast. Some are from the south side and all of that. But the thing is, naturally he's number 2, so there was no way they could have bypassed him even to
get somebody else.
Sure. It fell naturally, you know, on his plate.
Where do you see
the major problem that the presidency is now facing is that there's only so long that one person can be acting CJN.
True.
So you have to declare either Tanko Mohammed as a substantive CJN and ask Onnoghen to step
How long
aside.
does he have?
I think
3 months.
3 months.
So 3 months.
It's almost done,
So
really.
you will now understand the frenzy. It's either he stays there permanently or he goes back to being number 2 and you bring back Onnoghen.
And what do you think? Do you think Onnoghen has a chance of coming back now? It's very, you see, that's what's very complicated, because when this conversation started, Tunde, you would remember, we thought it would be done and dusted immediately the elections were over, because everybody speculated it was all about the Election Petitions Tribunal. Now it has taken a new dimension and people are completely discombobulated over what is going on.
There's a lot of socio-political intonations and human psychology and, you know, tribal. Let us speculate.
Okay.
Presumably you ask the CJN, is the substantive CJN is suspended. You ask him to come back. There's going to be bad blood in the Supreme Court.
Yes, based on what has
and
happened.
And he would always look over his shoulder at Tanko, the acting CJN, and say, I can't really trust you, can I? Exactly,
because you were used against me. Now, there are some people who have speculated that even Tanko Mohammed should be sent away as well, who believe that Tanko Mohammed should also go, retire Onnoghen, retire Tanko Mohammed, because both of them just don't look good for the process.
No, because there is a precedent. About a year or 2 years ago in Abia State, when the governor removed the CJ, a judge was brought in as the acting CJ. The matter came to the NJC.
And he was disciplined.
And the NJC disciplined the man that came in. So NJC had laid a precedent. So one begins to wonder why NJC would depart from a precedent which itself had laid. And on the issue of Onnoghen, I don't think he has the chance of coming back. With everything that we are seeing. I've been following the trial from the beginning till date. And with the body language of the tribunal, I'm not so sure that he will come back.
Well, the tribunal is actually a court of first instance. The matter can still go on appeal court and up to the Supreme Court, which makes it more interesting because it means the Supreme Court is going to be deciding against one of their brother judges.
Exactly.
In fact, the #1 judge. It's all convoluted. But back to the question, should the acting CJN be asked to... I'm not holding brief for him, but let me try to play the devil's advocate. Why should he be punished for acting in his official capacity?
Anyway.
There would be a vacuum if we didn't have him stepping up. But you'll also understand what my learned colleague is saying, that something happened in Abia and this was our NJC. So how do you reconcile? It's
both of them.
Very contradictory, confusing. We take one step backwards, 3 forward, 3 backwards, 1 and it's just...
And this is something
I see it's possible, there's possibility of hope for Onnoghen.
Okay.
Because what if he gets...
Hope for getting back, or just hope of being retired and moving on with his life?
Then that's not hope, because if you retire, that's not what he wants. He doesn't want to be retired. He wants to finish his tenure. Okay.
And who wants to retire under such circumstances?
Okay, yeah, exactly. So what if he gets to the National Assembly? The National Assembly says, we find no fault with this man.
Yes.
We think that should continue.
And the whole motion is defeated by 2/3 of the Assembly.
You know, that's the one that will go to the National Assembly is just one leg. The other
There's still
leg,
the
which
disciplinary
is the
part
Code
of it.
Conduct Tribunal. We don't know what's the ruling of the tribunal will be.
It can always be appealed.
And it gets to appeal. But do you know that the defense team are already complaining about the predicament they are having at the appeal court? They have about 2-3 appeals that the appeal court have not sat on. Even till date.
Yes, that's true.
They have 2-3 appeals which have not been settled.
Even some of the controversy, I think we missed out on this, was when the jurisdiction of the
CCT
was
came
challenged,
exactly,
and the judge
because that was what
assumed
even started it.
jurisdiction and said,
I mean,
I am going to
let's
rule
not
at the
even-
end if I should actually listen to
we
this
will
or not.
continue
So
this
that was
conversation.
appealed.
We will continue this conversation a whole lot later. We'll continue this conversation a whole lot later because Danladi Umar, he has his own problems. He's a very controversial figure as well. And if we enter that conversation, that's a brand new episode. Anyways, we would like to have your comments on the discussion that we're having. Please give them to us on the comment section of this video. A big thank you to you, Anthony Doko, Kola Olapini, and Tunde Oyeshino. You are watching me, Lord, right here on Roots TV Nigeria. My name is Gloria Oje Emode.